Hi everyone, my name is Christine Chavone and our show is Spiritual Exploration. Tonight we're going to explore life in the witch lane. And I have with me two very special guests, Mark Eadicicco and Richie, your last name, Richie? Tronique. Yes. Okay, very good, thank you. Anyway, and they're going to talk to us about, tell us about how it is to be a witch and the things that witches do. And, you know, that's life in the witch lane, right?
Absolutely.
Well, first of all, welcome, guys, to the show. Thank you for being here. It's been a while since, I think it's more than a year since you've been on the show. You were supposed to be on last September, but you weren't feeling well.
Yeah.
So then I had other shows going on in the meantime, and now here we are in January of 2012, the year that everybody's been thinking about and waiting for and hoping that everything goes well, and I'm sure it will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It will.
Anyway, though, so we're talking about life in the witch lane, meaning what witches do. What do they? How do they? Well, like first of all, Wiccan is the name of and it's a religion, right?
Well, yeah. Witchcraft is a recognized religion.
Yes.
And it actually, the Supreme Court made it a religion in 1985. Which now we have the same rights as everyone else to practice our religion. We're able now to put on documents that we are witches. Hospitals now accept it. The military now accepts it. So it was a big fight, but now, you know, we're pushing forward, and the more that we push forward and educate people, you know, the better response we get.
Of course.
You know, witches for a long time were seen as Satan worshippers.
I know, that's true. And you are going to dispel that belief by saying that you're not.
Absolutely. Witches do not believe in the devil.
Don't believe that the devil exists?
We don't believe in a devil exists.
Really?
We actually believe in a god and a goddess.
Okay.
And because we're goddess worshippers, as well as god worshippers, we were a great threat to, you know, patriarchal religions.
Yeah.
We don't believe in a hell. To me, this is our hell. We pay for our sins here and now, not in an afterlife. So even when we do our spell work, we have to be very conscious of what we do, because everything comes back to us threefold.
That's right. Do you believe that when a person dies then, at that point, any bad karma and whatever has been worked out?
No, actually, you know, as witches, we believe in reincarnation.
Right.
Which means if you don't get it right in this lifetime, and a lot of us don't,
yeah,
you know, we have to come back and repeat our life's work.
If you don't get it right, you keep coming back until you get it right.
You know, it's all about lessons, and it's all about learning, and you know, people come to us all the time for spell work, and you know, now we do Reiki work as well. Richie's a Reiki master.
Yes, very good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm a Reiki master too.
Yep. So we're able to help people, you know, align their chakras and their auras, and by healing yourself now,
yeah,
you know, when your time comes when you have to actually cross over, it's an easier progression.
Oh, you think so? So in other words, what you're saying is get everything straightened out before that
exactly.
time. So that you can, when you do have that time, because I know we don't, like you said, aren't judged. We judge ourselves. When we pass, we know what kind of life we've lived. Even the Pope said it. I had newspaper articles that said that the Pope, I think it was the last Pope, John Paul II,
Yes.
He said it. He said, we are not judged by God. You don't stand in front of God and get judged. When you die, you know what kind of life you led. You know if you were good or if you were bad. You know if you were mean to other people, or if you were cruel to animals, or if you were not caring about Mother Earth. And you know all of that stuff in your own heart, and you make your own hell on the other side, or heaven, depending on the life you led, yes.
You know, people ask Richie and myself all the time, and I always say this, and you'll hear me say it. They say, are you a good witch or a bad witch? And we answer that question, are you a good person or a bad person? You know, it's with the intent that you send out there. Are there dark human beings? Absolutely.
Sure.
You know? With us, we try to educate, you know, we do classes, and we try to educate on witchcraft, and we do lectures and letting people know whatever we set out, And you know what? The rule is threefold. I believe in tenfold.
Yeah,
I really
probably,
do.
and maybe even more, depending on the severity of the act.
And that goes with your thoughts, too, and your thought patterns. You know, if you think something negative, you will manifest that.
Yeah.
You'll manifest that negativity.
Yeah.
So what we do is we neutralize.
Neutralize the thoughts.
In other words, you say, like, cancel, erase,
Yeah,
erase.
Yep. You know, so if you think something, you say, oh, I neutralize that thought.
Right,
Neutralizing
so you
the
just
big
throw it out of
word.
your
It's
head.
like when you say something and then you bite your tongue after you say it. It's the same premise, only, you know, even a thought, if it's a thought in your head, and if it's improper, or it might cause harm for someone or for yourself, then you neutralize it. This way,
Yeah,
it doesn't happen.
So that it doesn't happen, and also what you're saying is it should have never even existed to begin with the
Exactly.
thought.
Yeah.
Right, right. Well, you know, we have Valentine's Day coming up in a little while, and so maybe you can just give us a couple of hints about love spells. I mean, things not things that people will do to try to override someone else's will, of course, but things that people can do to maybe let somebody notice them. And they say that you really shouldn't put out for any particular person, but if you are interested in having a relationship, you should just put it out to the universe where you are just saying, send me the right person. So, but how can people enhance that possibility?
The most important thing is, before you go and find a love, you have to love yourself.
Absolutely,
And
and you have to find that love from within
Yeah,
yourself.
self-esteem and self-confidence.
You can't depend on somebody else to make you happy.
No, and it's almost like looking for a new job. You have to be set and you have to be prepared for the new love that you want in particular.
In other words, you have to know what a relationship is all about and be willing and able to enter it.
Yes, and when you feel confident about yourself and confident in love, that will draw
You'll
a
attract
proper
that.
love to you.
You know, when people come in, they ask us all the time, you know, can I do a love spell on this specific person? And, you know, we tell them no. The most that a witch will do, when we do our love spells, we'll open the road. If it's right and it's correct, it will happen.
Right.
If it's not, you can't make a zombie out of somebody,
No,
and you can't
don't
manipulate.
want to. You don't really want to. You don't want somebody that's just a yes man.
No. And you have to realize, too, you know, when somebody says, I have to have this one particular person, and they do a spell on that one specific person, you end up falling in love 3 times as much as that person is in love with you. And sometimes you end up falling in love with the love spell, and that person doesn't even know you exist. So you have to be very, very careful in your wording, in what you're doing.
Your intention.
Your intention. You know, we'll give the person a love bath to do. Sometimes, you know what, we block ourselves. If we do not feel we're worthy of love, you're not going to get it.
You know, very often we do sabotage ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, people sabotage themselves by letting their looks go, letting their weight go, letting all that kind of stuff, not realizing that they're just blocking out love, and maybe that's what they want, but they're going about it all wrong.
You know, it doesn't matter what gender, if you're male or female. Like you said, you need to take care of yourself. You know, dress the best you can. Your clothes, perfumes, colognes. We do that because we want to attract what's right and correct for us.
Right.
So, you know, doing a candle spell, what that will do is that will send out, it's like a prayer. We call it a spell. A spell is nothing but a prayer.
Right.
So what we do is we tell the universe, I'm ready to encounter a right and correct love for us. So we'll use pink candles or red candles. Red's more for lust.
Right.
You know,
and passion.
Passion. There's certain people out there, and there's nothing wrong with it. Some people out there just want sex. So do a red candle and, you know, attract that to you.
Well, you can attract that plus the love and the relationship that goes with it with red, can't you?
Well, you know, red is more, it's Mars energy. It's more masculine. So what the red's going to do, it's going to put power, it's going to put passion, it's going to put determination behind you.
It's more of like a kick, whereas the pink would be more of a gentle.
I see.
New love,
friendship. And that's the most important thing, too.
Right.
When you're looking for someone to love.
So you're suggesting that if you're looking for someone to love and have a relationship with, that you go with a pink
I would
candle.
do pink.
And what about this bath you're talking about?
Well, you know, it's baths that people can prepare themselves as well. You know, we prepare baths all the time, and it's become second nature to us. But what you do is you'd mix certain essential oils in with your bath, and you would use oils like patchouli or rose, ylang ylang.
Do you make up these little oil? I mean, I've seen you making up oils in bottles.
Right.
So you do that like that, and somebody can purchase from you a bottle that they can put the oil in their bath and attract love?
Absolutely, and we also make the baths too, so they can use the baths as well. So, you know, we do it all. And the most important thing is that they know, you know, when they're doing this, that you know, you can go anywhere, but you have to make sure that the person who's preparing it is putting the correct energy into it.
Right.
And it's putting Venus energy or Mars energy into it.
Right.
And when I say Venus energy, I mean the influences of Venus, the correct oils and herbs. It's a science behind it.
Well, you know what, Mark? I mean, everybody knows, I believe, by now. I mean, you've had your shop, Practical Magic, for how many years now?
6 years.
6 years.
6 years.
Okay, so a lot of people do know you. But for the people who don't or don't know how to reach you, why don't you just tell everybody your address and your telephone number?
We're located at 1457 Castleton Avenue.
It's across the street from where the Salvation Army used to be.
And our phone number is 347-242-6947. Again, it's 347-242-6947. And, you know, for people who don't know, you know, I've studied under Laurie Cabot, who is the official witch of Salem.
Right.
I'm a third-degree high priest, and now I'm also an elder in her
Really?
tradition.
Wow.
Which is now the Cabot Kent Hermetic Temple. So I'm an elder in her temple. Richie's also now studying with Laurie.
Good.
At the end of July, he'll be a third-degree
Nice.
high priest and also an elder in her tradition.
Wow, so then you'll both be on the same level then
Yes.
at that point. That would be wonderful, nice.
You know, right now, Richie's a second degree, and he's also studied in Salem with Laurie. Yes. And he actually, even with the Reiki, you know, the weird thing is that, you know, people ask us all the time, you know, where'd you study and where'd you learn? Richie actually learned Reiki from a Catholic nun.
Well, I tell you, I believe that because my first introduction to Reiki was when I was on a women's retreat years and years ago, I mean, in the late 90s, I believe it was, at Mount Manresa, and they were offering Reiki sessions. For an extra $10, you can get 20 minutes of Reiki with one of their people. And I did enjoy it, but I didn't take the Reiki classes myself until I came actually to the studio and met another producer who was going for the classes and asked me if I wanted to join her, and I said yeah, and I went, and here I am, you know, today.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's also a very, if anybody's not familiar with Reiki, it's a very, very amazing energy,
Yes.
a pure energy coming from the earth that Reiki practitioners will take from the earth, run through their own body, and into another person, place, or thing, depending, or even into a situation.
And what we do is we take our energy, we process it with their energy, so it's almost like a coffee filter. Like we're taking it out, and processing it, and making it right for them.
Right.
And
but we're really not using up like our energy.
no, it's like the shifting of the energy.
Yeah, yeah, and it's a nice thing. I enjoy it. I use it just about
And
every
you've done
day in one
Reiki
way or
on me
another.
before.
That's
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
I did Reiki on you. Yeah.
And it was great.
Yeah.
You know. And even with you know, different techniques of healing, we also do like laying on of hands.
Right.
To me, it's all the same. You know, people will say, "Is it dark? Is it, you know, is there you know, where do you get your energy from?" It's just from the universe.
Exactly. We don't have to, first of all, there are people that think that they can get their energy by stealing it from other people, but that's not necessary.
No, psychic vampires.
Yeah,
they call them.
yeah, and that's not necessary because there's plenty of energy in the universe
For all of us.
for everybody.
Yes.
Everybody and then some, you know, so, you know, you don't have to worry about that. But, so now, so what you're saying now, part of being a witch is also healing.
Yes.
So you do healings at your place too?
Yes, we do healings. We now have, I particularly don't do Reiki.
Yes.
So Richie does predominantly all the Reiki at
Right,
the shop.
right.
You know, and I also want to let people know too, and you know this yourself, you know, I've been there for 6 years. I've never had another reader or Reiki master at the shop at all. So that's how much stock I put into Richie.
Well, that's good.
You know,
Sure.
to me, if you're reading out of my shop, because now Richie also does psychic consultations at the shop, you know, it's a reflection of me.
Sure, of course,
So,
because
you
you've
know-
been his teacher too.
Yes. You know,
Yes.
so I want people to know that, you know, when they come into the shop too, you know, they're getting someone
Who's qualified?
that has knowledge.
Right.
A lot of people, they'll come into the shop and they'll want specifically me,
Yeah. Oh,
but, you know,
if you're
that-
not available,
exactly, Richie's, you know, just as qualified, and, you know, we've had the same teacher, and, you know, we know the same knowledge, and
And as
Yeah.
the clients come in, you establish like
a relationship with them, you really do.
So,
oh, sure, of course.
you know, it's
Especially if they
it's
come
very-
in again and again.
Yeah, and it becomes more of like a comfort session as well as a
Right.
healing.
And I'm sure they always feel, come out of it feeling much better than when they came in.
Exactly, you know,
I'm sure.
they have a private room, they go in, they have a half hour of just kind of soaking it in and relaxing, and, you know, having that also like guided meditation that we do as well. So to me, you know, it's a spiritual journey for everyone. And coming to, you know, I don't care what religion that you practice, it's a spiritual journey that each and every one of us has taken. So when you come in and you spend a half hour, you need to pamper yourself. It's like going to get a massage or a facial.
Oh, yeah, you have to treat yourself
You know,
well.
and not only on the mundane level, but on the spiritual level too. And, you know, I've noticed there's been a shift where, because the economy is so bad, that people are pulling away from the mundane. They might not be going out on Saturday nights,
Yeah.
you know, drinking and going to the clubs and the bars, but coming in for healings
Uh-huh.
and, you know, psychic consultations and guidance.
Yeah, well, you know, that's a very important thing, especially nowadays with a lot of things being so uncertain.
You know, and as you said too, with the 2012,
Yeah.
you know, so many people are coming in, they're so nervous about what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, and if we look at the astrological aspects of what's going on in 2012, it's almost the same as the 9/11.
How's that?
The way the planets are kind of structured. So what that means is it going to be the end of the world? No. You know,
No.
we did our research. You are going to hear more about, it's fire energy. So you may hear about plane crashes and, you know, I don't feel terrorist attacks.
No, it's gonna be more of like aggression, more tempers.
Tempers?
More, yeah.
Like-
People's tempers, you know, people
Like
just being
Road
more.
rage and stuff like that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just astrologically.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's more of an astrological influence.
Really? Really?
So it's not
Well,
going to be
let's
as
hope that
bad.
everybody gets over it,
Yes.
though. I mean,
Yeah.
we don't need tempers either. You know, we don't need people with road rage and you know, and getting all fired up for nothing.
No, and especially on the you know, December 22nd.
21st, 22nd.
Yeah.
The
this night,
21st of December, that's what they're talking about,
which
2012.
falls on the winter solstice, which is
Yes.
which is Yule for the witches,
Yeah.
and it's one of our higher Sabbats. It's one of our Sabbats.
Well, now that you mentioned Sabbats, talk about your holidays. What kind of things do you celebrate? You do have the solstices. Now, do you have a winter and summer? Do you have a fall and spring
Yes,
also?
we do.
So on the 21st of the month in each of those seasons, the 21st of June, the 21st of September, 21st of December, and 21st of March?
Yes.
Yeah,
it falls around.
Around that's it.
The
So what a
28th.
new season is going to come in.
Yeah, and
That's four, like, kind of holidays, I guess, for you.
yeah, there are 8 Sabbats throughout the year.
And 4 of them are those solstices.
Yes.
Okay, what are the other 4?
The first holiday is on Halloween, which is Samhain.
Now, that's supposedly the beginning of the year for you, right?
Yes, and
That's
that's
our New
our
Year.
New Year.
That's your new year.
That's our New Year.
Yeah, and
Just like the Chinese people have it in February, and other people have New Year's
Yeah,
different
different times
times,
throughout the year.
depending on their religion or whatever. So go ahead.
And that's the time of the year where the veil between the two worlds is very thin. Mm-hmm. And it's a great time to do spirit work, to communicate with the other side. Mm-hmm. And it's also a great time to project what we want for the new year. So on Halloween, you would rarely see a witch dressed up as something scary. You know, you would see us dressed up as something that we want to draw in.
Something
So-
you want to attract
Yeah.
for the new year.
So if you
So in
want
other words, you don't recommend dressing up as something scary?
No, we don't do gore, you know,
Yeah,
Michael
right.
Myers or Jason, because that attracts violence to your life.
Ah,
If you wanted to attract money, you might dress in a business suit and put money in your pockets. If you wanted to
So
be
you're
beautiful,
Mr. Moneybags, right?
exactly,
Yes.
you would dress as a butterfly or a fairy
if you wanted what?
to be beautiful.
Uh-huh.
If you're comfortable with yourself, you wear your traditional witch's garb, which is our capes and our robes. So a lot of times it's called Samhain, which is Halloween, you'll see us dressed in our capes and our robes. Halloween is also, for the witches, the Celtic New Year, it starts the winter.
Halloween
So
starts the winter?
November 1st
Yeah.
would start our winter.
this,
Really?
the year is separated into two parts, the summertime and the wintertime.
Okay.
So on Samhain, that starts our winter, because everything starts to die, you know,
Yeah.
the trees.
Everything starts to
Right, the
wane.
leaves fall, all that.
Yeah, and then,
Then the summer
Yeah.
would be Beltane
and that's
for
when,
us, which is May 1st.
that season starts.
So May to October 31st, is that
Well,
6
actually,
months?
like May to November 1st
to
would
November
be
1st.
the summer. And the summer, which is Beltane, is when everything comes alive.
Uh-huh.
And all the, you know, the green is out, and, you know, we worship a fertility god, which means everything comes to life. It's the horn god. It's essence.
Yeah.
It's
Like the horn of plenty?
fertility.
Yeah, and actually our horn god was depicted as, this is where the line comes in, and our horn god, because it was a god with a horn, people said it was Satan. But it has nothing to do with Satan, it's total misconception. You know? We didn't realize that the propaganda
It
worked
worked
so
so
well. It really did, you know?
Yeah, well, you know, when people hear negative stuff, that seems to travel faster than anything
Yeah.
else.
You know, it's Friday the 13th tonight, too, so that,
Yes.
you know, that borderline superstitions as well. Black cats and walking under ladders. Black cats have been the witches' familiars
Forever.
for centuries. You know, with the witches, a cat is the only animal that can come into our circles without breaking it. And they're always in an alpha state, which means cats are always psychic.
Really?
Yeah, they're always psychic. They can see the spirits. They can see the spirit realm. Sorry.
Yeah, and there are
What
different-
about dogs? They can see
No,
spirits,
absolutely, yeah.
But there
Yeah,
are
I-
different exercises that you can do to communicate with your pets, and especially cats, be
That
that they're
are-
on that higher state of
That are deceased, you
consciousness.
mean?
No, that
No,
are
Yeah,
That are here?
alive,
yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
because they're on that different vibration.
Yeah, well, they're on a more innocent vibration also.
Exactly. You know, and, you know, sometimes, too, you'll catch the dog maybe looking out of the corner of his eye
Yeah.
and kind of backing up a little bit. And I always feel that the spirits that were around us, they can see and they can pick up their energy.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
You know, and they're our protectors. I think that the universe put animals on this earth to really protect us.
Yeah, but who's going to protect them?
Exactly.
You know, I mean, a lot of them need protection too.
And through witchcraft, and we do classes too. And in our classes, we're starting, just because it's a good question, we're starting community service. And we're going to make a lot of our students kind of go into shelters, animal shelters, and help with animals, help with people. We just did a
The
food
Canned
drive
Nice.
for Thanksgiving. We raised over 200 cans
Wow.
for food pantries. We did Toys for Tots. So we want people to know, too, that as witches, we also work with the community.
Well, you're part of the community,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
You know, and we're the only accredited witchcraft shop on Staten Island.
Really?
Yeah. That
Now,
has
who gives you the accreditation?
Lori, because we've studied under her.
Uh-huh.
So we have, you know, you come into the shop and you can see our degrees on the wall. You know, you can see that we have a tradition that we follow. So that means we're an accredited, you know, witchcraft shop.
Okay, yeah, well, sure.
You know.
And tradition's always good because you know exactly what you're going to learn. Because it's good for people to read books and to get their information on witchcraft. But when you're part of a tradition, it's, you know, we lean on each other
You're
as
working
well.
with a group.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's more of like a family.
Yeah, well, no, that's a good thing.
You know, it does become family. You know,
Yeah.
we do also every Sabbath, with our coven. So sometimes you see more of your coven members than you do your own family.
Yeah, I'll bet.
You know, and especially too, we also do a lot of counseling. As high priests and priestesses, you know, a lot of people will come to us with not only problems with love, but, you know, relationships and even health issues. You know, and we want to teach our students, you know, if somebody comes to you and, you know, God forbid, they come in and they sit down with you and they talk about either they lost somebody, you know, somebody passed away, or they have an illness, you have to be prepared to guide them and help them through this.
It's a lot of responsibility.
It's like clergy. It really is.
Oh, sure it is, of course. But when you're guiding anybody, of course, that's definitely, just like through the Reiki, I am an interfaith minister, and I'm sure that you are also now through your Reiki. So yeah, it is, we're all clergy.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and you'll go to the hospitals and you'll give rites of passage. We do everything from, you know, when the baby's born, it's almost like a baptism. You know, it's called a wickening. And we do rites of passage. So if somebody gets married, it's called a hand fasting. And, you know, and we do princessing and princes and princessing when somebody turns 13. When somebody turns 50, a female will do a croning. And for the man, we'll do a wizarding.
Now, what does that mean, croning and wizarding?
Well, what it means is that when you get to a certain age, your body starts to change.
Yeah.
So in witchcraft, when you turn 50, it's almost like we see the women as the wise ones.
Yeah, it's like an appreciation of their knowledge.
With age comes wisdom.
Knowledge,
Yes.
and wisdom.
Yeah, well, it's the truth, too, because, you know, the longer you're here, the more you learn, and at least if you're doing it right, you're learning something.
Yeah.
Yes. But there's a lot of responsibility that comes with being a witch.
I'm sure,
because
yeah.
it's not just, the first aspect is everybody has this misconception that you have to, not fight, but you have to defend yourself in what you're doing and what you believe in.
Because there are people out there that...
Yeah, because of the Hollywood mentality of, you know, witches eat children, they, you know,
Fly on brooms,
they fly
they're
on brooms,
green.
and they manipulate people. And even in our spells, we don't turn people into, like, a zombie.
Yeah.
No, like in the movies, you know, everything's like...
Or frogs or anything like that.
Yeah, it's correct.
So, tell us anything else about being a witch that you can enlighten us with.
Even the religious aspect of it, because you have to look at the religious aspect of it, and the Religious Institute of Studies has shown that witchcraft, right now, is the fastest growing religion
Really?
in America.
Really?
So we don't recruit, we don't go door to door. When people are ready to have their, and I say when they're ready to have their souls fed, they come to us. You know,
When nothing else works, or they feel that nothing else is working?
exactly. You know, so it's all about the guidance. And a lot of times when people come to us, it's sad to say, but sometimes it's almost like a last resort because they've tried everything else, in, you know, in getting their lives together and putting, you know, their lives into perspective.
So do they feel that the